Hey everybody, this is Julie Quinn. I seem to get a lot of questions about how do you set up weighing columns in Canvas. And I know it's a little bit different than it is in um, Blackboard, what we had before, but let me show you how it is set up, how you can categorize everything, and then reach out if you have any questions. So the first place you want to go is the assignments feature. You'll see I'm in a sample class at the moment, not a live one, and I have 3 different groups. I have a group called attendance where I rolled in my roll call attendance. I have different assignments, the plagiarism essay, the Wikipedia essay, and the Twitter assignment. And then I've got a presentations. You can have 50 different groups. It doesn't really matter. Let me back this up. There are 2 ways to set up grades in your class. You can do what we call easy weighing, which just each assignment has a different point value. And, maybe your class is out of 100 points. And so one assignment has 10, one has 20, and so on and so forth. So each assignment has a different weight already built in. The other way that you can do this is if you go in and change each of those assignments to 100 points, and then you make each assignment's category worth a certain amount of points, right? So what I've decided is, and if I do this, that means the weights of these are different. It just depends on what category you decide to put them in. So if you do this and you change your presentations to like 100%, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me edit that. Presentations is 20%. And then I wanted to change this one to another 100%. Inside each assignment, it doesn't matter when you create the assignment if you choose a point value or a percentage, it's up to you. And if everything's worth 100 points, it doesn't really matter. Point and percentage show the same way, just without the percentage symbol. So that actually doesn't matter so much. What you'll see now is if you want to set up weighing via category, like each different category is worth X amount, then this is what it looks like. I've got 3 categories: attendance, assignment, and presentations. Again, you may have like lab reports, you may have oral assignments, say you're teaching a foreign language class. All you have to do now is go over to the top of the section here and go to assignment settings, and then go to assignment groups and weight. So in here, you can set the weight for each group. So say you have a group called quizzes. You don't know how many quizzes you're going to run. You could run 2, you could run 10, but you say the quizzes are 15%. So you could have quizzes and then 15%, right? So this is out of 100%, which is great. And you can always modify it. So now everything is 100 points, easy peasy. And then you can go into each individual category and you can edit the individual category, not just by its percent of the total grade, but if you want to drop a high score or a low score, and then you can add in an assignment, but don't drop on this one, right? So this is the easy way of doing it, where I've decided if this is 60% of the total, each one of these is approximately 20%, but they're equally weighed. The way I had it set up before, that Wikipedia paper that I used to have my students do weigh in the past was worth a lot more than some of the other assignments. And if you want to do that with the weighing, you can break them out and have different assignments in individual groups as well. So again, all you have to do is set up the groups that you want, put the assignments in a group, and it's easy enough if you want to create another paper, and we'll call this final exam. We're going to make it 100 just like the rest of them. Make it published. Now, each of these is worth approximately 15% because it's 60% of the total grade. If you want to move final exam as part of a presentation, now these are again worth 20% of the grade, and these 2 together are now 10% each of the total grade, just because of the value of the entire group and how you've set up the weighing. You can then go into your grades and you can see how it works out. Notice that you have a student ID here. And within the student ID, you can put in sample grades. So if I said the student had roll call was 85%, and the plagiarism essay, say the student got a 75%. And in this one, the student got a 92. But in this one, the student got a 45. They didn't do so good on that. Presentation, say they got a 77, and their final exam, they got an 85. You should be able to see that we've got these subcategories here of an attendance subcategory. Oh, by the way, this roll call attendance, I may have had it set up where it's not rolling into the final. Let's double check that. That's one of the things that sometimes I've done in the past that you may do too. I like to know how long how much attendance how often they've been attending. But my concern with some of my students is that sometimes they attend, but they're not active in class. So I don't just immediately use that setting. And it probably says here, don't count toward the final grade. That's why it wasn't calculating in that column. Let me just turn that off because I like to enter in holistic grades. But for the sake of this example, you can see how it all rolls in together. So if something is not matching up, now we've got an attendance column. We've got an assignment column, we've got a presentations column, and you can see how the only grade in attendance was attendance, so that makes sense. Under assignment, we had a couple of different ones, so it averages out the 3, and in presentations, it averages out these last 2 to give us a total of about 75.5%. After you've watched this video, if you have any questions, just email me and let me know. I hope that this helped you with setting up categories and weighing them, and I'm available if you need any support.